Box Springs Library. So today we're going to learn how to make this wooden porch sign. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so for our home sign, we're going to go over some of the smaller things you're going to need, and then I'll show you the boards you're going to need, okay? So you're going to need some acrylic paint. I got black because the trim work around my house is black. You can use white, you can use blue, pink, it doesn't matter what color you use. Use whatever colors you want your letters, because this is for your lettering. So whatever color you want your letters, that's what color paint you're going to use, okay? And then you're going to need a clear coat. You can use the spray, which is what I have, or you can use a liquid one that you're going to paint on. Whatever it is you want to seal that paint, so that way that paint won't wash off through the weather and stuff, because this is an outside sign. Then you're going to need some nails. I have 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. Yes, I have 12 nails that we're going to hammer in. You're going to need some glue. I have some E6000. If you have some wood glue, that's fantastic. Just keep in mind that whenever you use wood glue, allow a day to dry. Probably the same with the E6000. You can also use liquid nails, any kind of super adhesive. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need a measuring tape and a hammer for the nails. You're going to need some little hooks. You can either use a hook like this, or you can use one of the command strip hooks, which is actually what I'm going to use, just because it's clear and I really don't want it to be seen, and I don't want to have to try to start a hole to dig this in. But if you want to use this, you can. It's totally up to you. You're going to need a pen or pencil. You're going to need some paint brushes for the paint. You're going to need scissors or an X-Acto knife. It's your choice. I use the X-Acto knife, but that's my preference. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Now, if you have a Cricut at home, use the Cricut if you want. But I found that even after sanding it, the vinyl adhesive just did not stick to the wood, so that's why I'm suggesting painting over your Cricut. So just let you know the difference on why I'm suggesting it this way. I printed off these letters. They are this is 630 font of the book font, size 630, and I just printed them out. You just need the word home. If you're going to use the word welcome, of course you want smaller font because you have more letters. Home only have 4 letters, so I chose home because it's easier for me. And then the last thing up here that you're going to need is some seasonal wreaths or signs. I have a sunflower for September, a pumpkin for October. I have a happy harvest for November, and then I have a holiday one for Christmas. If you buy this and you don't like this design, you can always paint your own design and then have it customized to you. You don't have to go with what you find at the store, but it's $1 and it's just easier that way. So let's move over to the boards, and I'm going to tell you the difference in the boarding, okay? We're going to do that real quick so I can show you the size. So my main planks are, I have to turn it this way to read, sorry. They're cedar planks, they're picket fence planks. They are 19 by 32, and they were 6 foot tall, and they were 5.5 inches wide. I like the cedar because it gave me the different colors on the wood. You can pick out whatever one you want. This is just the one I got from the local hardware store. The other one I got, because I like, whenever you have the planks, I like that top trim and bottom trim, like if it was an actual wood. I meant fence post, fence panel. I'll get it right in a minute. So on your fence panel, you have the bottom and the top, and so that's what I want to recreate with my signage. If you don't want that, just put that on the back so that way nobody would see it. So that one was a smaller one. It was 5/8 by 3.5 inches by 6 foot tall. Oh, let me turn it that way. Well, it just doesn't want to let you see it, does it? So that's that one. I don't know if you can see the measurements, but I just told you. And I got these at my local hardware store, well, lumber yard. Most places will cut the wood for you. You just have to ask them. I had the saw at my house and I was able to cut it down myself. I cut it down to 52 inches, which is 4.5 foot. That fits perfect on my porch, but it's up to you. They come in 6 foot panels, so you do want to keep that in mind. So let's go this way. So the difference between the two, this is how you buy it. It is 6 foot tall. My porch is not equipped to handle that. But like I said, if you ask them, measure out how tall you want it, and then they will cut it to that length. You just have to ask them and they'll cut it for free. Mine here is 52 inches, which is 4.5 foot tall. You can see about my height, how tall it stands. And this was perfect for that size that I was going to use. Like I said, these are the two cedar ones. And then this one is a smaller one. It's not, you can see it's not as wide as the originals. And that's fine because whenever I put it up here, it's going to go at the top and at the bottom, just like if it was an actual wooden fence, okay? So let's get started on that. We're going to reposition and come back to it. So to start off with, we measured the plank, which was 52 inches, and we found the middle, and then we put little marks here so that way I know where the middle's at. And then I measured the how long my home was going to be, and that left 8 inches. So if I divide 8 inches in half, that leaves 4 inches at the top and 4 inches at the bottom, and then the home fits in the middle. So I took 4 inches from the top plank and I made a little mark, and I took 4 inches from the bottom and I made a little mark, so that way I know that home is going to fit within that bracket. So my top piece, I'm going to add this piece of wood, like I said, so I can have it be more of that fence looking. So I'm just going to position it on that 4-inch line, and so it goes from the 4-inch line, it's going to hit the bottom of this, and we're going to put 3 nails in here, 3 nails in here, and then we're going to repeat the process down at the other end, okay? So we'll be back. So we finished putting this in. Like I said, I want it so it has this paneling on it. If you don't like this and you don't want this to seam, you want it all seamless, flip it over, and there's your seamless one, okay? So it's totally up to you. If you like the top and the bottom like I do, then you're gonna paint it this way. If you don't, you're gonna paint it the other way. So it's up to you, okay? So now that we've gotten this done, we're going to get our lettering. So give me one moment, I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our letters, and here you're just gonna take some scissors and cut it out, or an X-Acto knife, which is what I did. Just cut out all your letters the way they are. So that's what I have here. And then I took my letters and I divided them in half. That way I know where my middle line is, so that way it lines up with my board. And you're just going to line it up, and we're going to start at the top, and that middle line that we folded the paper in half, we're just going to line that up with the line on the board, so it's in the middle of the board. And we're going to just put these against each other and continue down until we reach the word home. Now you notice on the O, there's this middle part I did not cut out. because if I cut it out, then I'm just gonna have a big open circle. So I left it so that way I could have the middle part. If you're gonna see that actually I'm not gonna paint this part, but if you were going to paint it, the O, then that's the way you're gonna need to do it. But I'm not going to do that. That's why we have those inserts or the signs, because that's where that's gonna go, okay? So we just lay this out, and then we're gonna start painting on that very first letter, which is the H. So I have my pen. Now we're just going to trace that H. So, okay, so we've done the H, and you can see the outline of the H. Now we're going to go back and paint it, and we're going to repeat this process for all my lettering, okay? So we'll skip ahead a little bit, and that way you can see us as we go along, but it's just going to be a matter of tracing it out and then painting it in. And like I said, I just have a black acrylic. Okay. Give me one moment, and I'm gonna go grab a paper plate, so at least that way I can get some paint out for you, okay? Give me one moment, we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with the contrary paint because it was not gonna come out for me or open up. So I put it on a plate. So I just have a small flat brush, and we're just gonna go and do some of the edging or outlines. And we're gonna proceed with this, and we're actually gonna probably fast forward through part of this, but I wanna let you know that just do your best. And if you're like me and can't draw a straight line to save their soul, just do your very best. If you want, you could even use some masking tape and tape on here, or some painter's tape around your lettering, if that would make you feel better. But if you get out of line a little bit, just make your letter a little thicker. There's nothing wrong with a thick letter. So we're just going to proceed on, and we'll meet you back in a minute. Alrighty, so we've gotten all the letter painting. Once this is dry, that's whenever you want to come back with that adhesive. Give it a good spray, and then that way it seals it. It's not an adhesive, sorry. It's a sealant. You want to come back with your sealant, give it a good spray, make sure everything is nice and sealed. That way the rain won't wash this away, okay? So this is the sealant. Like I said, just come spray it all. Make sure it's good and sealed. That way it's waterproof and you don't have to worry about that. But we're not going to do that because we're inside, and I don't want to do that right now. I will do that after we're done here. But if you noticed, I did not paint the O. And you're like, well, how can you have home without the O? Well, that's where our stuff comes into play. I want this to be a seasonal board. So that's why I have the seasonal signs. You know, like I said, we have the pumpkin, we have the harvest, and we have the Christmas one. And then because September, which is the month we're in, doesn't have a holiday besides Labor Day, I wanted something that I could have for the whole month. So I have this sunflower. So we're just going to put a little hook. Now you can put the actual hook if you want. Put it there, mark it where you want it, and then you would just hook it like that. That is perfectly fine. You can also use the clear hook. Like I said, just put a little E6000 on there. or some liquid nail and do that, okay? I told you I wasn't going to use this, but upon further evaluation, I think I am. So I'm just going to size it where I need it, and that's where I'm gonna go. So I'm just gonna put this in here, and you want it as close to the middle as possible. Clearly I'm not gonna go through the middle because the middle is where the two boards meet. So just gonna screw that in. All right, and then I get my sunflower, and I'm just gonna hook it right through there. And then we're going to stand this up, and I'm going to show you the finished product. Okay, so this is our final product. Again, for each of the big panels, they cost us just over $3 at the lumber yard. The small panel was less than $2 at the lumber yard. And then the acrylic paint we have, but you can buy that at Walmart for 50 cents or $1 or $2. And then the sunflower we got at our local dollar store, and that was $1. So altogether, you're looking at less than $10 for this very cute and seasonal sign. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you make your comments and shares below.